I was super addicted to YouTube for 6 years, and I tried everything to stop. And it was only after something changed in my life that I was able to get out of it. Since I was 15, I've averaged 25 hours a week watching YouTube. A lot of weeks more than 60 hours. I watched more YouTube than I worked. I did it to avoid work. I mostly listened to something anytime I was alone. I was super ashamed of it, and I really wanted to stop. I noticed I wasn't even enjoying some of the times I was online. And I knew I'm addicted, and this is really wrecking my life. I tried website blockers, threat bets, recovery books, meditating an hour every day, internet and technology addicts anonymous support group, not having any recommendations on YouTube for years. And I still kept watching. I tried some not completely stopping rules where I could listen to stuff when I'm outside and never at home, and nothing really stuck. I was completely hiding my addiction. I was appearing as this super got my shit together girl. To my friends, I was this girl that graduated undergrad at 18 and did cool stuff after, and I would never show the side where I watch YouTube 6 hours a week and feel like I am such a failure. It didn't feel safe to show that. Because I was hiding it this whole time, I only had data that people liked me when they saw this person that I was presenting as, and that also fed into me wanting to hide it more. I thought everything will crumble if I show them, and if I ever mention it sometimes, my friends didn't really take it seriously. Like, it's not compatible with the picture I'd been showing them this whole time. How bad could your addiction really be if you graduated undergrad at 18? The addiction was really bad, and I was too ashamed to communicate to other people the severity of it. I moved to London last summer, I made a new friend, and somehow this friend was really able to prompt me to share my feelings and be really vulnerable. I shared my big vulnerabilities. I shared how I thought and wasted potential since I graduated 2 years earlier. He heard it, and he didn't minimize it. He was somehow really validating and supportive. Then I got this positive data about being vulnerable. I was still hiding the severity of my addiction, but he got me to be more vulnerable and more transparent about my insecurities than I had been before. We'd been friends for a couple months. I was sick for a week. I spent the whole week at home, laying in bed, watching shows on my computer. I ran out of data that I had in this new city, and this caused extra friction it would have taken to keep watching. So I had a pause caused by this friction. It wasn't a lot of willpower. It would have been expensive, and it would have been visible to my family that I'm getting new data plans. Running out of data caused this initial pause, and I've had situations like this before. Like, I've been in camps, I've been abroad with no internet, and then I wouldn't watch YouTube for some days, wouldn't watch shows. Whenever I had like a pause like this, I would go back in a few days or a week when I have access to internet data and I'm back to normal life. There's other stuff happening in my life that made the pause stick. I had this meaningful connection that was really helpful. Maybe some purpose YouTube was serving was seeking connection and not feeling satisfied in my social connections that I had because I wasn't being myself with them. And I felt in some level that it is conditional on me presenting as really cool, and I wasn't showing all of myself. Another thing that happened in some part because of my best friend was facing some problems in my relationship that I had been really flinching away from. I'd been with my partner since I was 15 for 5 years. We had really entangled lives. I didn't have that much identity outside it. Both my best friend and other friends were at this time expressing some concerns about how can a relationship even be good if you were there since you were super young. It is, in a lot of cases, kind of risky that you will grow too entangled and you will not have an identity for yourself. I remember I had this worldview where he's really perfect. I have journal entries where I'm really stressed about my career and education and not finishing this project and hate myself for watching YouTube and avoiding it. And then I would shut down my negative feelings by saying, oh, I'm so lucky. He loves me anyway, even if I'm super lazy or if I do well. And what could be more important than that? I was really, in a lot of areas, using this relationship and this thought, clinging on to this I'm so loved and I'm so lucky thing to shut down my negative feelings in my life and about myself. In a lot of ways, this relationship was really fundamental in the structures of my head and like how I see myself, and my sense of being okay was entangled with this relationship. I felt like anything that threatened that, any problems that don't need to actually threaten the relationship, like it's okay for your partner to not be perfect. It's okay to have serious problems worth acknowledging while having an amazing partner and being loved. It felt to me that facing any problems would threaten the whole thing and threaten everything in my life that was entangled with this relationship. And I didn't have the skills to separate and acknowledge the serious problems while holding the good stuff. Like, I don't know how it happened. I was flinching away from thinking about negative things. Maybe I thought I'd be betraying them or myself or being super ungrateful for acknowledging serious negatives, which is unfair. It's really useful to acknowledge the negative stuff, and it's really unfair not to communicate it and pretend it's perfect. Having a deep connection with my best friend that I felt like really knew me made it feel safer for me to feel destabilized in confronting some relationship problems. I would still have the stability with someone who knows me and really cares about me. On the day after I ran out of my data in London, I hung out with my best friend a lot. We shared life stories and had deep conversations. He was expressing some concerns about my relationship. I was arguing against it. I got home. I was acknowledging the way I frame this relationship seems problematic by my standards, and that's really scary to think about. I ended up feeling feels about that at night without finding a distraction. That night, and acknowledging problems and feeling my feelings was really big for me on both my relationship front, and I didn't feel like watching YouTube anymore after that. I think YouTube was doing a job. It was part of the structure I had in my life for how I presented as a really positive person and didn't face serious problems that it would have been too dangerous to face, or that's what it felt like so strongly that it would be too dangerous to confront. And my whole life is around this setup, and I've been doing this as a coping mechanism for a really long time. No amount of willpower to like stop the YouTube can work because it's like part of a structure keeping my life together, and I can't remove it without changing the structure around it. When I was seen for myself emotionally and had a deeper connection and was handheld in confronting these problems, I was able to have another approach that didn't include YouTube as part of it. We all need some things to be okay. We need our plans to work out. We need our kids to grow up. We need the careers we're building to matter. We need the future to exist. And if something threatens that sense, then no matter how clearly it's laid out, you really want to flinch away from it and slide off of it. You can't afford to take in those concerns or those arguments. You can't afford to face it. I've worked in AI safety for years, trying to reduce the chances of literal human extinction because of future AI systems that no one understands and no one can reliably steer or control. The CEOs of these AI companies are publicly predicting high probability of literal human extinction, and outside experts are predicting that too in the near future. I feel like I really need that to not be true. That's literally insane. I have a life. There's children in my family. I'm getting educated. Of course I need the future to exist. Some part of me is constantly trying to slide off of what I just said. Slide off of it being possible at all that the expert might be right. It is not even a consideration. Like, it's just not okay. It's not compatible. And I know a shit ton of value can be lost by sliding off of truths that really threaten your whole worldview and would be really destabilizing to face. And it makes sense that it's a really sane way to respond, to be like, no, it's not true. It's not possible at all. It's literally zero. And that's your system doing what it's supposed to do. We need that to not be true. I hold this contradiction in my head. Rationally, I know it's true. I work on this. I know there's a significant risk to humanity because of future AI systems that no one understands and no one knows how to make safe. And I think it's insane to believe that. It's also immensely hard to take that in. It's not compatible with everything that I think and how everyone's acting and my whole life that's played out. I think it makes so much sense to emotionally respond that way. My emotional system doesn't even allow to consider the possibility that they're right. I needed to be zero chance they're right. The experts are completely wrong. With my relationship, I needed the problems to be zero. I didn't need them to be small or unlikely or not that bad. I wasn't able to face serious problems at all. I got really lucky with my addiction. I had someone from the outside, a connection that helped me face it and be safe even through this destabilizing transformation. I don't know what will happen on the scale of everyone on Earth. Can we face super destabilizing risks and realities?